First of all, what I want is to thank all of you for being here in this info day of the CirCoAX project. And I want to thank especially our external speakers from today, especially Christos from the DigiGrow. Kalispera, Christos.
Kalispera.
And also today my name is Juan Revuelta. I'm the CEO from the Fundación Finova, one of the partners of this quite interesting project that is CirCoAX, that is linked about circular economy and social innovation in fashion. And today, what we are going is to try to inform and to convince entities to disseminate the information and to have as maximum of quality projects to be submitted and to have the best projects to have the chance of that 12,000 euros for starting money for the idea, but also that that quality mentorship for that startups in how to do the business plan or how to have access to EU funding. And for some questions we have had is entities that have say, okay, could you also help us in other EU funding projects? Okay, in a second step, why not? We could help to have access to live projects or European Innovation Council projects. Now live call is open up to the 30 November. We are talking of projects up to 1 million euros. We are in Mindtech, Vigo. I'm in Mindtech today. This is an international fair of metal mechanic in Galicia, in Vigo. They are going to help and to disseminate this event and the tweets. And thanks Mindtech and ASIME for hosting us. ASIME is the Association of Metal Mechanic in Galicia. And everyone knows about the importance of the testing industry in Galicia with a big company like Inditex. And as you can imagine, in these international fairs, there are a lot of interesting companies in that field. Anyway, we will have an institutional blog that we are starting at the moment, and we will have after and the presentation of the open calls with details, and finally we will have 3 breakout rooms that will be in English, in Spanish and in French. Buenas tardes para los que nos estén escuchando en castellano y no entiendan inglés o que lo sigan más difícilmente. Decirles que después de la parte institucional y de la parte de la presentación del Open Call, tendremos además una sala que será para resolver las cuestiones en castellano. Pour les francophones, bonsoir, bon après-midi plutôt. On va aujourd'hui, on essayerait de vous expliquer exactement la possibilité de présenter des projets de qualité dans cette CirCoAX project, dans le domaine de la sustainabilité, dans le fashion, mais aussi dans le domaine de l'innovation sociale. Vous dire qu'après les blocs institutionnels et les blocs qui expliquent l'open call, on va avoir la possibilité d'avoir une salle en français pour répondre à votre question. Et on va commencer. And now we are going to offer the floor to Mr. Christos Kyriatsis. He's head of unit of the DG Growth of the European Commission. Allow me to thank European Commission on behalf of Mr. Christos, because this project has been funded from the COSME program in this interesting challenge that we have, that is about sustainability in fashion. Did you know that just 1% of the old textile is recycled? Or did you know that for the jeans, sometimes companies use up to 10,000 liters each? Okay, there are solutions, there are ideas in eco-design, there are ways of reusing, recycling. We are looking for this kind of projects. Anyway, Christos, Evaristo, and you have the word.
Muchas gracias a ti. Pero voy a hablar en inglés.
Para calor.
Thank you very much for the introduction. What I will try to do is to make a little bit, to put the context for this project, which was proposed by our unit. I work in the Directorate General, which is responsible for industry, entrepreneurship, and internal market and small and medium-sized enterprises, and in particular in the unit dealing with textiles. And we want to support the textile industry and the companies. They want more than 106,000 companies in the European Union who generate a lot of jobs, most of them kept by women. And that's, so I will go a little bit back. At the beginning of this commission, you certainly remember that the president of the commission, Ursula von der Leyen, in the European Green Deal, proposed measures to support circularity. And then in March 2020, last year, we had the Circular Economy Action Plan and the Industrial Strategy, which announced a strategy for sustainable textiles. Of course, the context was a little bit particular because when these two measures were proposed, the Circular Economy Action Plan and the Industrial Strategy, it was the same week that Italy had to lock down because of COVID. So companies had to shift to another mindset and often to shift their production methods for medical devices and medical protection products rather than normal textiles. And you know that the whole sustainable fashion sector has been affected. However, we continue and we plan to adopt the strategy before the end of this year. The specific scope still needs to be defined. It will aim at strengthening the industrial competitiveness of the sector, its innovation. We want to boost the market for sustainable and circular products and create a new business model, both for design, but also for consumption, and to ensure that the whole ecosystem emerges from the COVID crisis more resilient and sustainable. In addition to the actions announced in the Circular Economy Action Plan, we will see how we can direct investment, research and innovation to achieve regularity in the context of the next generation EU. And as most of you, but also many associations and companies, they have, and also citizens and non-governmental organizations, they have shown a real interest and motivation to strengthening industrial competitiveness and innovation while making the industry more sustainable. And we see also on the social and human rights issues, in particular in regarding production in third countries, because as you know, a lot of production takes place outside Europe, in particular in Southeast Asia and North Africa. Regarding the process, we published a roadmap in January. And then we had an open public consultation, which finished the 4th of August. And now we are analyzing its results. And we'll see when what we will take into account for the text of the strategy. And I think this will be also, if you will see the strategy when it will be adopted, it will give you also ideas to, how to say, to take into account while developing your own project. In addition to that, we had recently, in the month of May, the Commission adopted an updated industrial strategy, which looks at 14 ecosystems, and one ecosystem is the textile ecosystem, and sees what kind of measures companies need and how we can co-create. So to see what specific actions the Commission, the national authorities in the member states, but also companies can take into account while in the years to come. What you mentioned is very important. These are startup projects, and for us it is very important to see in the future how they can develop, because what is missing often is to upscale some new business models. Because many companies, they do great efforts for innovative methods of sustainable fashion, but then we have to see how this model can be economically viable and also respect, as I said, the other conditions, be it social, human rights, and not only environmental. This is why we're very interested in your work, and we would like to be regularly updated. We can also organize specific meetings if you want with the coordinators of the project, because in the same directorate that I work, we have also colleagues that they work for the social economy, social enterprises, due diligence, and so we can put together and see what will be interesting for you. I know that Sharam wanted to have some specific questions, but since the strategy is not yet adopted, it will be good that we discuss that a little bit later in a few weeks. So for the time being, I wish you full success, and that's all. I don't know if you have any question.
Sorry. Thank you very much for this holistic approach, Christos. And of course, we are quite interested in a interinstitutional, inter-services meeting with your colleagues from the DG Social. And also we are talking with the DG Research, because there are some synergies with the European Institute of Technology and the different KICs. But it will come in the following weeks. Thank you very much, because on the last, just for your information, last 27 July, we organized a webinar explaining how to companies in the field of circular economy could work in submitting a live circular economy project, of course, with other entities in that call that will end on the 30th November, that will apply for 1 million euros. And okay, we're trying to offer that holistic approach. And about the DG Social, quite interesting. We will come back to you, but and thank you very much, and Evaristo, Christos. And now we are connecting from Brussels, that is where Christos, I think, is based is now. We are going to connect with Madrid, with Mr. José Francisco García, who represents as leader of the consortium, and he's the director of the European Institute of Design Innovation Lab. Tienes la palabra, José Francisco. Buenas tardes.
Hola, Juan Manuel. Gracias. Gracias a todos. Un placer estar aquí. Thank you very much. Just a few words to explain the role of the ID and the CircularInnoBooster consortium, because it's important to understand the this project, this important project for us. The ID is a design school of Italian origin with a history of more than 50 years of training in design, creativity, and innovation. And the ID Innovation Lab that I lead is the ID Design Laboratory in Spain, in charge to developing social transformation projects. So that design is part of the necessary changes in our society. And we want to do these projects with strategic partners who have our same principles and concerns. Design is much more than aesthetics or image. Design is a way of life, a human and creative approach to society, a relationship between people, between people and the environment, with balance, responsible and sustainable approach. And this is the focus of the ID Innovation Lab in today's context. That's why for the ID Innovation Lab, it's so important to lead this project, CircularInnoBooster and the platform CirCoAX, because it is a project that wants to find new circular fashion projects, supporting companies and professionals who are looking for solutions to improve the reality of the industry of fashion in Europe. We are really very excited to receive the many ideas and proposals until October 15 and select the best to find those solutions that improve the reality of our 21st century society. This is our goal, and we are proud to do it with partners as important with this consortium, thanks to the support of the European Commission, of course, in COSME program. That's all. Just only want to say that all the consortium partners are determined to achieve real, tangible, and relevant results. It's our challenge, and we hope to achieve it, and we hope to find these solutions with some of the best projects or circular fashion in Europe for the next years. Thank you very much, Juan Manuel.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Juan Francisco. Just to remind, I'm pretty sure you know about the project, but just some bullet points. We are talking of a project that is of 1,128,000 euros, financed from the COSME program. The project is CircularInnoBooster Fashion and Style. Is financed in 75% from the European Commission, and we are different partners. You have listened the leader, your Instituto Europeo de Design. We are the Belgian partner, Fundación Finnova, but also we have Text4 and CircuLab, and finally the Circular Project with the help of Humanizing. What we pretend is to transform the industry of it's very ambitious. We pretend to help to have some ideas to transform the industries of fashion and style, and to avoid the contamination through the innovation and increasing the entrepreneurship to generate new business model in circular economy and transforming small companies and startups in sustainables and circulars. And what we pretend through the CirCoAX Accelerator is to select 30 projects in transnational consortiums, quite important, don't worry about if you need to look for another startup from other country. That is one of the requirements. We can try to help to you. There are different tools. Allow me to remind that there is a network from the European Commission, Enterprise Europe Network. There are some other ways of looking for that partner, and also through the consortium and through our secretariat. Objectives: to create new products, processes, services, or disruptive, innovative business for that sustainable ideas in that field. And again, every consortium will receive direct funding of 12,000 euros, and also, again, mentorship, etc. Very important, the call is open up to the next 13 October at 5 o'clock Brussels time. And do you know, 13 October is during the European Week of Regions and Municipalities. And we will have some surprise of the participation of the Committee of the Region in this closing. We have some time. Please, if you know someone that has an idea in mind, even if they have not created yet the company, or even if it's a small and medium enterprise company that has any process, don't hesitate to share the information. We are looking for the best projects, and they will receive also information about also other synergic calls. Okay, now we are going to the after this let's say institutional block. Allow me to go to the strategic. We have a strategic partner, GCPT Mars.
Sorry, we were going to, the strategic partner in the end is going after Juan Manuel, because we were going to do the technical part, admin part first, when we spoke with Natalia. And yes. The last agenda was, was that then, after the presentation of the different partners, the strategic partner?
Yes, sorry. Okay, then we are going for the technical part, for the open call presentation, and you have the floor. Salam Yalda, good afternoon. Salam Yalda at the time was working in Brussels with Finnova. He was working with us in another project in the Nobel Grid, and he will present the call with Mrs. Sami Katsemi as project coordinator of CirCoAX by CircularInnoBooster. Salam is in Madrid and Sami in Barcelona. Salam, you have the floor. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan Manuel, for the presentation, and thank you to the project officers and for Eleni for being here, from Cosmic team, and for Christos from DG Grow. And all of you for your interest for presenting the project. So I'll just quickly go to the points that are actually why you're here, to understand what the open call is about as well, in terms of the technical details, now that we've heard the strategic part, the policy part, and the important thing around the focus that we're looking for, the challenges we're trying to solve. So you already heard from Juan Manuel some of the important numbers around the project, so I won't repeat those, but you have them here on the screen. I'll go straight to also, again, just for you to see that this is a consortium partnership that's international, covering Spain as the lead partner, also Tex4 representing the textile industry, Finnova from Brussels, CircularInnoBooster from France, and we are also from the Circular Project and Human Nation from also Madrid, Spain. So as it's been said, what we're really looking at is creating an alternative accelerator platform that's slightly different to the traditional accelerators that look for just kind of the traditional growth, looking for the unicorns, the exits. But what we want to do is accelerate the transition to more regenerative circular companies more resilient SMEs in the fashion and textile sector. And working together, a lot of collaboration. We want to accelerate collaborative work between companies, between people, and building an ecosystem that supports them. So, of course, this requires transforming business in general, but specifically fashion and textile. And the 30 transnational partnerships, as we said, the word transnational is important because we encourage the lead SME to partner with another European entity that can be an SME or not. So this is a very important point because this is a European project and we always look for transnational European collaboration. This is an 8-month support program and we provide financial, technical, and different types of support, which includes networking, connections, and funding in the future, in terms of looking at how you can grow and develop your project. So just at a glance, this project has a budget to, let's say, give away 100% funding to SMEs of 360,000 euros to be distributed to 30 projects. And it's important, again, this point around partnerships between an SME, one leading SME, and minimum one other entity. So that second entity can be either an SME or it could be a non-SME. It could be any other entity that we'll explain and you'll see later. But they also have to be from minimum 2 different eligible countries. So you see which are those countries, and you can of course ask any question at any time. After this info day in the Q&A, and also to call us to send us an email. It's important also to understand that the official language of this proposal and the program itself is in English. So though we'll have Spanish speakers, French speakers, but we can't cover all the European languages, we have decided that, as many European projects, it will be in English. And each SME partnership will receive 12,000 funding. That is 100% funding, as we said, so they can spend it the way that they like, but within the categories of what's eligible costs. We're looking for quite a broad range of SME leaders and partners. So the designers and makers, of course, the industry actors themselves. Even if you're involved in education, we're very interested in re-educating in this way of doing fashion and textile. If you're involved in communication efforts or strategies or platforms, if you're involved in community building or digital platforms, all these kind of projects that have an impact in the transition to a new type of way of doing fashion and textile is very interesting. And in terms of the partners, again, as we said, they could be an SME or they could be even research and education institutes, public bodies. It could be a large enterprise, other types of legal entities like for-profit, non-for-profit. But really the important thing is that they're legal entities. That means they're registered as a minimum is a professional, that's a taxpayer, a professional sole trader within the category of SME, but it could also be, any other legal body. In terms of the key dates, as it's been mentioned, the call opened already and it will close on October 13th on a Wednesday at 5 p.m., which is official European time for closing the calls. And we are looking at announcing the award sometime in December. So that would be the 30 awarded partnership projects. And the projects, because there is a period of administrative work, preparing the grant agreements and making everything legally correct, then we have until March 2022, which is really 2 months, just to close that and get the project off the ground, the program itself, which is the 8-month program. So the support program will offer you 12,000 lump sum, and that's 100% financing rate. The business and project support services, that, as it was mentioned, is quite a broad range. So we are not looking at just, providing, of course, the financial part, which many people are interested in because that helps making the project, advance. But as you can see, it's not a huge amount of money. So the important thing is that this covers some of your basic costs, even like traveling, like doing some material for prototyping, paying for machinery if you're doing, I don't know, 3D printing or some kind of a weaving machinery, whatever you need, even to get somebody to help you for a period of time. So all kinds of costs can be, small amounts of costs, really can be covered. But really what the emphasis is in helping you with all kinds of other services like mentorship, helping you define your business in a circular way from this regenerative perspective, design, putting you in contact with other players in the industry. We have some very nice strategic partnerships, but also within the consortium itself, a very huge and well-connected network of contacts, and also to help you work together within the SMEs yourselves. So how you can collaborate together to help each other's projects, even once the partnerships are made. So we have some cross-fertilization activities as well to see how we can help you work together as a community. And the tailored projects, sorry, these are the tailored workshops that will be very specific for your needs. So not only the general kind of training, but also very specific mentorship for your particular needs in your business. So this already was mentioned, the matchmaking type activities, and also to mention that IED has a lot of great facilities. The Innovation Lab has a Fab Lab and Design Studio, and all these kind of facilities that are accessible to the designers and the businesses that participate. The projects that want to present themselves to the Madrid Circular Sustainable Fashion Week, whether virtually or presentially in Madrid, of course, they have an opportunity to do that. So we'll be very keen to help all the applicants, but specifically the ones that have succeeded as the 30 selected projects to participate next year in the Fashion Week and the following year. There'll be other networking and event activities that we can connect you to also. So here I will pass it to Sammy. You said you might have some connection issues. Do you want to go over this? Do you want to try, Sammy? I don't know if you're able to connect now. Otherwise, I'll carry on. But I think you were there. Okay, I see Sammy has dropped off. Okay, so for now I will carry on. I thought maybe it'd be nice also for you to hear Sammy for a bit of a change, but here I'll continue. So it's important that the projects that present are eligible projects, so that you cover the eligibility criteria. This presentation is also available as a guide for applicants, which is just an easy to digest information, but there's also an open call document on the website under the open call page. So I won't go into all the details, and in the Q&A, you will have a chance to ask any question you like towards the end of this session. So as you can see, there are all kinds of different entities that can apply. The lead applicant always has to be an SME by the definition of what is an SME in the European Union, which could be a sole trader, officially registered taxpayer, professional, but it could be a company, like up to 250 employees and that kind of what's a small to medium enterprise. Then the member states, it's important that the projects and the partnerships include the entities from EU member states or the COSME program countries, and that you can find also the list of those countries in the call for proposal details. You can always ask us if you have a doubt. So the eligibility criteria for partnership, as we said, a minimum 2, and they have to be transnational, of course. And also, I think what else can we highlight here? It's, of course, the application and the program language is in English, as we said before. There is a package of information to send. So just to, if this sounds a bit daunting, The most important part really is this just very simple administrative information about you, which is part A, the technical part, which is part B, where you explain what is your project, why it's innovative, why it's circular, and what are you actually trying to achieve in the program. There's a small video pitch. Don't get too worried about, I know recording things sometimes is daunting, you know, and you think you have to get a studio or whatever. Just take a mobile with your team, just record a Zoom call, something spontaneous, and, you know, of course you prepare a little bit, but we just want to meet the team, understand your motivation. And once the most important part is the application, but that way we get to see you as well, and you tell us a little bit about yourself. So there's some technical documents in the annexes that you will also learn what it is to submit in the application details on the website. So everything is done online through the website, which is the CircularInnoBooster website that you also have available. We'll put a link of that in the chat right away, so that you can access the website if you haven't already. As we said, it's Wednesday, October 13th. We always say mid-October, so sometimes it gets confusing between 15th, but it's 13th actually because it's a Wednesday. That will be 5 p.m. and this is the package. So regarding the actual annexes, there's a declaration of honor where you just declare certain things around ethical and requirements of the project. For example, that you're not applying to 2 different programs at the same time. And if you are, then you wouldn't accept the funding from both of them. That's the kind of information you might find there. Regarding the partnership agreement, it's important that the partner you've chosen, or the more than one partner, that you actually have an agreement together. It's just it's a formal agreement in the sense, but it's not legally, you know, you don't have to get a lawyer or anything. It's just a document. You get together and say, let's sign this. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to do it together and we're going to apply. So don't get too worried about, the legality in terms of getting lawyers and things. It's just a standard agreement. But if you want to get it legally also verified, then do that. But the important thing is that you agree on the kind of nature of relationship you have, the kind of activities you're going to share. How are you going to split the money if there is an economic transaction between you, so that it means that you're going to share some of the funding, because some of the partners might be support partners. They can give you other types of resources like man hours, expertise, knowledge. They can give you communication support, dissemination support. They might want to co-learn with you. They might not want the financial support. Otherwise, you might decide that you want to actually pay for some of that because there's costs involved and they want to cover those costs. So you might distribute some of the funding to them, and you share that. So these are things that you can also think about in the partnership agreement. Then, as we said, just a informal 3-minute video as a pitch. So all the reference documents are on the website, which is here. Just to clear any confusion, the project is called CircularInnoBooster, and this program we're launching is an 8-month program. We called it CirCoAX. So that's all it is. So the evaluation of the proposals. So there will be a formal evaluation procedure by evaluators, and there'll be minimum 2 evaluators. There's a whole procedure to go through. We have to comply with according to European Commission rules and COSME rules. So that will all go through that process. There'll be a jury in case of, resolving any of the issues that come up, and there'll be a final selection. But just to understand that there are 2 phases. One is the actual review and assessment of the application. And the second one is we do a quick interview call with the selected shortlisted projects, and then we make a final selection. Basically, it's just 3 questions that we need to answer in the 10 minutes, and then we'll just have a open pitch, which is just like we have a discussion or questions around your project. Then the invitation letter will be sent. We have a signed grant agreement, and the program actually then starts. So it's important that, like any other fund you receive from for public, bodies for innovation from Europe, you have to comply with the eligibility rules and the way you spend the money, and you have to justify how you spend that money. There has to be receipts and invoices kept. You have to justify timesheets in terms of hours spent on the project, and we can help you with some administrative questions, give you the templates and so on, but we need to work together to justify those costs. The payments will be made in 3 phases so that we can see how the project is progressing. So we have this 30% upfront payment. Then we have the interim payment once we do a review. So in fact, this we're going to bring it down to 4 months. We have to clarify that. This was, we'll do an interim, we'll clarify that and correct it. But the idea was that it's an 8-month program. So halfway through that program, we do a check and an additional 30% of the payment will be made. And then the final payment, which is when the project gets completed, the remaining grant is paid. And of course, throughout that process, we ask for some justification and some interim reporting. So just for you to know that these are the reporting and deliverable requirements that was also available, on the website. So we'll just do a 2-way interview. So this is the correct dates, two-way interview on month 3. And then we do on month 4, an interim technical and financial report just to see how you're doing and how you're spending the money and how that's going. And then the final technical and financial report at the end of the program, which then you have 60 days to prepare. And that's, we're going to also, we will provide I think all the details are there also in the documentation. So the model grant agreement was also available for you to see what kind of contractual agreement we have. So that's also for you to see the conditions of the grant. All the recordings are available on the website. So please, whenever you want to go back and check something, you can also go back to look at this video. This one will be published soon on the website. And if you have any questions, get to us on the project email. And of course, a lot of information is on the website, including updated frequently asked questions. We have a Q&A session after the partners and the strategic stakeholder, the actual strategic partners that's with us today, do a presentation. Then we have 3 breakout rooms in the languages of the consortium, which is English, Spanish, and French, so that in case you prefer to speak in any of those languages, because of course the project is European, but you can of course join the English room, or you can join the Spanish room or the French room. And there'll be people there who can support you with general and technical questions. So that's all for me. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay, thank you very much, Salam. We are going to connect now with Madrid again and with Paloma Garcia as CEO of the Circular project, one of our active partners in this project. And that's it, Paloma. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Juanma. Well, it's not my time, but I'm happy to say hello to everyone, and I want to say that it's a very good opportunity to all of you that are working in circular economy and textiles, that make another different work in another different way. Looking for solution, because we are in a hurry. We are in a moment very special of the humanity, and all very special for the industry as well. Well, as most of you know, I start with a very little project in Madrid. It started like a very little store in order to sell fashion that small designers, and now is a holistic project around the circular economy, around the transformation of the textile industry, because we are very convinced that is the unique way to work. When I received the call from the Cosme Funds about this project, I start to speak with Saran, because I feel that that kind of project, this project like CircularInnoBooster, it will be very similar like a circular project, but in a big way, because we are working in Madrid in the close with the close people that are working in the local industry, but probably we can work together in a global way. Saran and me decide to combine a lot of our consortium to try to make something different. So I'm happy that today we are a lot of people connecting in order to change, to make this change. So I would like to say to thank you to the European Commission, but as well thank you to Saran, because he's making a very good work with all of us, trying to be connecting. Saran?
Thank you so much, Paloma. Yes, I think that I always admire your activism, because I think that it's true that sometimes when we look out at general media and things, everybody talks about circular economy, and everybody talks about economic, well-being, but then the pace of change, and sometimes I think in the emergency that we're in, we forget how fast we have to change and how drastically we have to change the way our industries and our production and consumption patterns and the whole economy is organized. Even as a society, our value system, what we consider prosperity, well-being, all these questions are now on the table. And we from Human Nation, this is what we're trying to bring to the project, because, for example, the link between the circular economy and climate change sometimes is not put together. In fact, climate change is very much part of circular economy, because emissions are a pollution from the production and consumption cycle. And fashion is responsible for 10% of greenhouse gas emissions. We also have the idea of growth, and the economy is, we see that as being very different in the future if we want to survive as a society, global society, and our economies, because at the moment, the growth is very pyramidal and very concentrated in very large companies, very large players, but also very few people who are actually benefiting from the wealth and the value that's created. So from Human Nation, we're looking at lateral growth, what we call growth that can be distributed in a lateral way, that can be replicated, that can share prosperity, and social well-being and equity being in the center of that in terms of how companies look at distributing wealth. So we're looking at wealth sharing companies or steward-owned companies, and also local economic growth. So going back to local economy, recovering local economic resilience, and looking at this reconnection with the human and the natural capital. No, how can we connect our economies back to nature and to people, so it becomes economy of the people, not the economy of very few people and few actors and monopolies. So this is a little bit like the position we're bringing. And just to add that for that, we need a business support ecosystem, because the current funding and accelerators are not organized in a way to support the 99% of SMEs. They support 1-2% of SMEs. The the ones that really make it and become the rockets and do the exit, and they end up in Silicon Valley, or they end up in, you know, the unicorns. So we want what we call the zebra. There's a movement in Europe called the zebras, and they're not unicorns because zebras collaborate and they work together, and we need a business support system for zebras. We need accelerators that are more conscious to support the 99% of SMEs. So that's just what I'd like to add. So thank you. I pass it on now to our next.
Oh, Saram, yes, thank you. Now we are going to pass the floor to Bric Safre, Bric Safre, co-founder and CEO of Circular, and he is in Nantes, France.
Yep, thanks, Juan. I'm Bric Safre, yeah. I will introduce you quickly what we are talking about. I mean, when we talk about circular economy. So I will share my screen just 1 second. Yep, you have it. So, yeah, when we talk about circular economy, we should talk about linear economy. So, yeah, today our economy looks like this. We have more and more materials that go in this economy. Nearly 100 billion of tons each year are going in this economy, but most of it is finished as a waste. So just to be very quick, because we are very late, I just would like to introduce you our definition of circular economy. So as Sharam said, the vision of circular economy that we defend is a system of economic exchange aiming at sobriety in the supply of resources, because most of the times we think about reusing and recycling when we talk about circular economy. But first of all, we must be as sober as we can, because most of the issues we have to deal with on the world point of view come from this. We must be much more sober. Then, second point of this circular economy is that we have to be much more efficient. So we talk about reusing, optimizing use, remanufacturing eventually, recycling, repairing, stuff like this. There are processes that we can implement from the design stage. So this is the second point. And then the last point that Sharon defended is the regeneration of human and living ecosystems. So we don't have time to do less bad. We have to anticipate and do much more positive impacts. So on an economic, social, environmental point of view, to be sure that we will regenerate human and living ecosystems. That's it for me, because I think we are very late. So I leave the floor now.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I would like to go now. We are going to connect with Sabadell in Spain with Mr. David Ayo, Head of Sustainability on Textfor.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bona
tarda, Juanma. Thank you very much to everybody. And well, I would like to share a little bit some slides just to explain what we are, and trying with that to be as much as possible helpful for the stakeholders that are listening, and all the people that are listening today us, and that maybe could be inside of CircularInnoBooster to know which tools we could provide them. We are the main Spanish textile manufacturer association here in Spain. In Spain, we have around 5,000 SME, well, 5,000 companies which are textile manufacturers. Most part are SMEs. Okay, we are the result of the fusion of different small associations that in the past were from different raw materials. One of them comes from the Middle Age, so we are like quite old organization somehow. And inside of our scope are all kind of industries. Okay, not only fashion, we have home textiles, we have technical textiles, automotive textiles, and so on. So the most part of our associates are SMEs. We have around 400, and they are our best cover letter. From our industrials, we have like different kind of industrials. There I was painting for you some supply chain. With this, I think that you could do some idea about what we are talking about. We have like fiber preparation facilities, spinners, weaving facilities, dyeing, and so on. Just to say something, from our spinners, we have like the leadership in Europe doing the recycled yarns. Okay, in all Europe, in Spain is the country that has like more recycled yarn production, especially recycled yarn from cotton. In our industrials, we have real cases of circular economy that they're implementing a lot of different things to try to be better and to try to fight against even decarbonization. Nowadays, the most part of them are producing some of the part of their energy that they need to produce. Later we have like global leadership. For example, Juanma was speaking that to dye some jeans you need like 10,000 liters of water. And we have some of our associates, which is called Tejido Rollo, that they are dyeing the yarn to produce the jeans without water. They are not using water, they are using less chemicals, they are using less energy. So it is incredible how even they are SMEs, they are pushing in research and developing, and even the sector is really hard because the localization was being really hard in textile sector. What we do from Texfor? Well, we have like one part of our job, which is like the representativity in many organizations, like international ones, for example, the fashion industry decarbonization association from United Nations, which is called FICA. We are inside of Euratex, moving a lot of different legal topics like the circular economy strategy that was speaking Cristor. We are inside of that too, inside of ETP, inside of COA, which is some Spanish organization, even other many working groups. From Texfor, I am the head of sustainability, but we have like different areas like internationalization to help our companies to try to sell out of Spain, innovation area to try to help our SMEs in many innovative aspects. We have some legal department for the legal issues and the sustainability, which is me. Later we are doing too like specific trainings to, like something that our industrials cannot find in the market. So we are helping them to do training to their workers. There we were doing some Erasmus Plus project, which is called Ecotex, that we have like almost 5,000 trainers around all the world. And later we have other projects as CirCoAX, related to circular economy and sustainability and industrial symbiosis and so on. And the most important thing that we are doing that is like help our associates in all the topics that we were speaking. They have our hand. So all the people that will be inside of the CirCoAX, they will get somehow our hand to help them in many aspects. What we expect from CirCoAX, like connect the industry with the startups, especially the SMEs, because the SMEs has not easy to arrive to the like European tools. impulse an ecosystem that Shanam was explaining very good regarding with circular economy and regenerative business and so on, and later face the environmental vanguards like in legal aspects, like in technological aspects, impulse the best raw materials, which are really important, and we need like new, better raw materials for our industries, and later, of course, to face the environmental challenges that everybody we know, like circular economy, decarbonization, and microplastics and so on. There I share with you my contact details if somebody like wants to know something more, and I give back Juanma the floor for you. Thank you very much.
Okay. David, ¿estás en Sabadell o te pillo en Galicia?
Well, today I am in the other corner of Spain. I am in Galicia, but well.
Yes, where in Galicia?
In the Death Coast, like in the north, close to Finisterre, which is the end of the world. So yeah, I am there.
Okay, you know, the style and Galicia has a lot of link. Okay, we are in Vigo, as we have mentioned. Okay, thank you very much, David, and we are going now, finally. Okay, we are going to our strategic partner, and before that, we are ending just this block before the question and answer, and we have invited a strategic partner because because what we would like is to build up good networking in projects that are linked to circular economy and fashion. And don't forget also about social innovation and fashion. We have talked a lot about circular economy, but don't forget that, why not? Through recycling textile or recycling fashion, we can create new, at least mini jobs that helps people to find a job, to have also dignity. Anyway, we're going to connect Giuseppe BT Mars. I don't know if I have pronounced right. And I think you are in Italy from the TCBL Foundation. Yes,
hello. Yes.
Hello.
Thank you for this invitation. Yes, I'm speaking from Palermo, but the TCBL Foundation or association is being constituted in Amsterdam, and the network covers nearly all European countries and other parts of the world as well.
Okay, the floor is yours. And
okay.
How do you see our initiative? And what we would like to understand with you is how can we mobilize resources and synergies to link other projects and to help, at the end of the day, to help concrete companies. Floor is yours.
Thank you. I have a presentation, but I see you're very late in time, so I'll just be very synthetic. TCBL is a network formed during a European project that lasted from 2015 to 2019. And it's a network of innovation laboratories and businesses in the textile and clothing sector who who expressed their adherence to a set of shared values, which include innovation and include sustainability and respect, and basically the holistic approach that you have in this project. And they worked together to innovate along the value chain in collaboration projects. Now, over the life, and this network is continuing under the TCBL Foundation or association as we will ultimately maybe have it, as well as a for-profit company that is participating in other European projects. And we're very excited about our possible role as a strategic partner in this project because, well, number one, we can very concretely, we can help some of the SME applicants find partners if they're looking for partners in other countries or anywhere along the value chain. People in our network cover all of the categories of projects, SMEs that you have listed in your call for proposals. And also, we cover pretty much the whole value chain in different areas, different aspects of innovation, social, technological, and so on and so forth. But also, once your projects have started, we think it's important for them to test the viability of their concepts and expand their roles in the value chains, because the circular value chain obviously is not made up of one company, nor two or three, but it's a whole system of several companies with branches of value chains in different directions. And we can offer an ecosystem in which that can happen. So we would be happy to promote some of your projects, test the interest and the viability within the TCBL network, and help you to ground what you're doing in the real world of the textile industry. And we'll exactly how that happens, we'll see as we go along. We are open to collaboration, but again, I think there are the two main points. We would be very happy to help you pair you as proposers if you're looking for a partner with someone from the TCBL network, and after your projects have been hopefully selected and get started, we would be very happy to connect you with other businesses that might be interested in your initiative and working upstream or downstream along the supply chain. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jesse, and congratulations, because you are in an Interreg program, but it's not a very easy program. I mean, there is a lot of synergies with that. Interreg Med, if I'm not wrong.
That's one of the projects, Interreg, yes. And it's a follow-up to a previous Interreg project. We also have Erasmus Plus and 2 Horizon 2020 projects going on now.
Perfect. Thank you very much, because it's a way that the people can understand about the follow-up of CirCoAX, because I wonder why not to promote an Interreg program in this new period, in this new period 2021-2027. And you know, in Interreg Med, Mediterranean, Finova has a foundation in Valencia. We could work doing a kind of a new Interreg Med with your experience, with the legacy of this Interreg, with what we learn here. And for the other partners, we can build up, why not, at Interreg Europe for our colleagues in Madrid, or our colleagues in Nice, in France, and why not, okay, we could also think about that other call. Anyway, thank you very much for the information. We will share with you some alerts and info about the live calls or other calls. Thank you very much.
And I'll share with you the presentation I had prepared. It's a little more detailed, and you can put it in with your info pack for this info day. Okay?
Wonderful, Jesse. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now we are going to go to the breakout rooms. Et maintenant, nous sommes en train d'aller pour les différentes chambres pour discuter avec des experts. Et alors, on a préparé trois différentes chambres en parallèle. La première, on va commencer en français, sera avec Sami Kazemi. Elle a des coordinateurs de projets of CirCoAX by CircularInnoBooster. Elle est à Barcelone, en Espagne. Aussi, de Bruxelles, sera Natalia Cediel. Elle est des responsables de communication et relations institutionnelles à Finnova Bruxelles, Finnova Région Belgium. Et en français, on aura aussi Brick Safré, il est co-founder and CEO of CircularInnoBooster from Nantes, France. En español. Ahora vamos a ir a la parte concreta de las preguntas y respuestas en español. Y ahí tenemos Adrián Noeda, es el director de la parte de innovación y pequeñas y medianas empresas. Él está en Valencia. Paloma García, desde Madrid, que es la CEO de Circular Project, que es una autónoma muy aguerrida. Y el señor David Ayó, que ya le han escuchado ustedes hoy desde Galicia, que es el responsable de Sustainability de Tesfor. And finally, we will have the breakout rooms in English with Saram Yalda as project coordinator and Elena Mas from Finnova Brussels. She's engineer and project manager in Finnova. And before starting that, I want to thank all the people that has been working hard preparing this session today. I'm talking of the people of the team of information technologies, the head, Mr. Eduardo Mercado, that is with me here in Galicia, and also Daniel, Álvaro, and also the people from the Department of Translation and the people from marketing, and all of you that has been helping us in disseminating this invitation. I'm really very happy. We have had around 70 participants, what is not bad, and that's it. Thank you very much. Gracias a todos ustedes. Of course, I want to thank especially our external speakers like Jesse Mars, and also the representative of the European Commission, Christos Kyriakis. Thank you very much. And now we are going to the other groups. And you have the links here in the chat. If someone has, okay, I think you have the ways of connecting. If someone has a question, please connect us. Thank you very much.